Hi, my name is Annie Purdue Olson, and this video series is for us to reflect together on a few heroes of the Bible and the unique and sometimes challenging circumstances that they faced as they were fulfilling the assignment that God had given them. Each video is about 5 minutes long and includes a summary of the story, as well as some questions to get us thinking about how we see God in the story and what impact that might have on our own story. So let's get started. Joshua was groomed by Moses for the responsibilities that lay ahead of him. It started at Sinai, when he went up the mountain with Moses to receive the 10 Commandments from God. They came down together to find the children of Israel worshiping a golden calf. Joshua even stood up valiantly against the 10 spies when they came back from the Promised Land. He said they could take the land when the others said they couldn't. Joshua was a mighty warrior, and he led armies in miraculous victories because Moses was willing to hold up his staff with the help of Aaron and Hur, and when he did, Joshua was winning the battle. God even had Moses write that story down and recite it to Joshua so that he wouldn't forget. Even wandering in the wilderness for 40 years wasn't lost on Joshua. Moses would go to the tent of meeting to talk to God, and Joshua would stand outside, an observer, a learner. While everybody else was going about their business, Joshua would go into the tent of meeting and just soak in the presence of the Lord. Now he stood on the shores of the Jordan River facing the most daunting challenge that he had ever faced in 40 years. He was to lead the people into the Promised Land. His friend and mentor Moses had just died. The people needed a leader, and he was commissioned by God to lead them. God's assignment to Joshua was to be the one to set foot into the Promised Land and to fulfill the promise that God had actually given to Moses. But Moses, his mentor, was gone, and those were pretty big shoes to fill. He was afraid. God had to tell him 3 times in the first chapter of Joshua to be strong and courageous. He was commissioned by God, but would the people actually follow him? Despite these unique circumstances that faced him, and maybe any limiting beliefs that he had about himself, he stepped out anyway. He went to the people and he told them to get ready. And they responded positively, and they even told him to be strong and courageous, which is the same words that God had used with him, to be strong and courageous. Joshua and the people of Israel went on to partner with God and take down the city of Jericho. But if you read through the entire story of Joshua, it isn't all happy endings. It got a little bit messy. It was tough. They made mistakes. They didn't always listen to God. But if you look at the end of chapters 11 and 14 in the book of Joshua, it says that the land finally found rest. Joshua was able to fulfill the assignment that God had given him. All right, so here's what I'd like you to do. Grab your Bible, grab a piece of paper, and read through the first 9 chapters in the book of Joshua. And as you're doing that, take notes or write down all of the unique circumstances that you notice in his story. The fact that Moses had just died, that he was facing a river that he didn't know how to cross, that the first battle that was in front of him was the walled city of Jericho, which was considered undefeatable at the time. What are some of the other challenges and unique circumstances that faced Joshua as he stepped into his leadership role? After you write those down, I want you to reflect on them and look at them and notice, what are the limiting beliefs that influenced Joshua in the midst of that? And how did he overcome them? And the final question is, what do you notice about Joshua's story that informs your story? Take the time to jot notes down about those 3 questions and then just lay it before the Lord. Ask him in prayer to speak into your story. Thank you for watching the video, and check out the next one.